Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Today we're going to be talking about New Mercy, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I like your face, thank you. It's nice to have a likable face, I suppose. I don't like my face, so there we go. Is that a bit louder than usual? I don't know, I'm speaking louder. Anyway, we're going to be talking about New Mercy. Before I wanted to get into the coaching session, I wanted to actually take like a big holistic look at the New Mercy. Like, let's talk about what makes it new. Let's talk about, like, what is New Mercy? How do we think about New Mercy? All that kind of stuff. How do we approach this new hero? How do we deal with this new hero? This ties into the coffee break I did very recently, talking about change and change being scary. This ties very nicely into the defining your playing, like how to approach this kind of stuff. It's a nice chunk. I don't think it was me alone, however, just Shay. I think you played a role in that somewhere. Okay. So, of course, the big thing with New Mercy is that she glides different. No, that's not actually the big thing. That is an important thing, the fact that she glides in, like, really weird ways. She floats now, basically. It's very similar to how Doomfist works. Or worked, I don't know. Looks like they're taking it out now. Doesn't feel like it's doing it quite as much anymore. Did they change it? Do I not, like, drift like a lunatic anymore? Wait, I think it's if I cancel and hold space. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, big change to the New Mercy, of course, is the new Resurrect. So we fly over and we pick up a friendly bot, and hey, we get these instantaneous reses, 30-second cooldown. 30 seconds is a long goddamn time. Okay, 30 seconds is enough time for someone to have died and come back from spawn. 30 seconds is actually a really, really big cooldown. It does mean that you have to be very considered in it, and this was the first mistake. You still can? Okay, there you go. You need to turn it off? Yeah. And hold space. What I was doing, I wasn't doing it for some reason. There we go. So it's a 30-second cooldown, very, very long time. Very, very long time. It means you can't just spam it willy-nilly, and it means that you have to be very considered in using it. The other big thing about the new res that's very different from old res is that you have to do it from close range. So you have to basically jump forward, and this is the big thing that I'm noticing people. I'm noticing people sort of make mistakes with, is that they will run out to, like, let's say that these guys are our teammates, and let's say that our team is fighting over here, and then, like, our Genji, for example, dies all the way over here. Okay? And so we're playing. Hey, Phaeton. Ooh, very nice. Thank you so much for the donation, man. That does make a huge difference. So then it's like, I'm gonna jump over here and I'm gonna rest them. And then suddenly I'm stuck in the enemy team, and then I have to, like, hope that someone can pull me out, or maybe someone can cover me or something. But the fact that Mercy's just dashed in is honestly very, very vulnerable to enemy gunfire. Oh no, oh, I'm dying. And so the enemy team will be paying attention to stuff like that. And I've noticed that people at higher levels especially are very, very keen on is, like, they know that they got a kill, and they will wait for the Mercy, because Mercies are doing what I was doing last night. Like, because last night we had some pretty bad performances on Mercy, and I wanted to look at why. Part of it was I was solo healing, but part of it is because my Mercy play was sloppy. I was running out and sort of getting myself killed and putting myself in positions where I was allowing myself to die for not great purposes. And so the big thing that I would caution before we even start this coaching session is be very careful with how you're going to actually deploy this res. Now, of course, the difference is if you have ult, then you can just deploy both, and you can pick both up, and then you can just do the new fancy ult things. Someone asked yesterday, I think it was, like, how do I think about Valkyrie? How do I think about this new ultimate? What do I plan around? Oh, you can't emote when you got it open. You can say hello though. How do I think about Valkyrie? And I gave them this feed, like, they didn't want the complete answer, they wanted to be able to try and intuit it for themselves, and the answer I gave them is this. Think about how effective it will be if you deployed it before a fight. Think about how effective it will be if you deployed it in a fight. Think about how effective it will be if you deployed it after a fight. Just try and, like, keep these ideas in mind, and then how effective is it if you're already winning the fight? How effective is it if you are losing the fight but marginally? How effective is it if you're getting smashed? That kind of stuff. Old res, it used to be better after the fight, it used to be better if you got smashed. Like, that's how old res worked. If you completely got destroyed, you got smashed to pieces, then you fire off your res, and suddenly everyone's back up, and it's amazing. It's great. It's superb. New res, or new Valkyrie, is very different. New Valkyrie, in my mind, is at its best when you are in a team fight. One person dies. Okay, you go over, you res them. Second person dies immediately after, but the team fight's still close. That, to me, is where Valkyrie shines the most. Valkyrie is extremely powerful at just pushing your team that chunk further, just going ka-chunk. It's when the team fight's starting to slip away, then you activate Valkyrie and you can swing it back in. It isn't quite like Sound Barrier, it isn't quite like Transcendence, which you want to use very early in the fight. Valkyrie comes out a little bit later. Maybe something's happening, maybe someone's activated like Tac Visor and is putting out tons and tons of damage, or there's a whole hog and it's hitting absolutely everyone. Or like a Riptire comes in and kills 2 people. You just dash over, res 1, Valkyrie, res the second. And therefore, it will be very powerful. Therefore, you're getting the full value out of it. I've started using Valkyrie in the middle of choke pushing with the res reset and chain healing. It could be clutch. Yeah, absolutely. The big thing as well is that value you get from the chain heals and the chain... like the fact that you're supplying 50 heal per second to everyone on your team, a little bit higher than 50 heal per second, but you get the idea, or a considerable damage amp, like 25% damage amp onto everyone, which is... that's enough to make a big difference. You're basically making up for the fact that, you know, you are just providing damage amp by giving everyone a quarter more damage, which that's making your team a lot better than their team, that much is certain. Blasting isn't so useful. It was super useful in the on the PTR, but less useful on live just because it got nerfed a little bit. It's still not too bad. Like, if you need to finish off a target, it's really good. The other good part about Valkyrie is that you're constantly going to regenerate health, therefore you're going to be very hard to kill without something like a Tactical Visor or a Widowmaker or something that will just deal a shitload of burst, maybe Roadhog hooks, for example, as well. Without those things, it's very difficult to actually kill the Mercy. So, what does this all mean? Well, it means that you're going to be playing Mercy still relatively flexibly, relatively mobile, but you want to be very careful if you're playing her in like a dive comp. If your team members are getting way too far ahead of you and getting like miles out, there's no point in just like dashing all the way out and getting yourself stuck to just res like a Genji who's 3 miles in the back of the enemy line. And if Genji starts bitching in team comp saying, "Mercy, come res me," it's like, dude, your corpse is literally surrounded by 6 people that are just teabagging you. Like, I am not going into that mess. I am not going into that mess. So yeah, it's not worth it, basically. Other than that, anything else we really need to cover? When to activate Valkyrie, we talked about. When to activate Res, again, just keep in mind that you have to be physically next to the target. When to Blast isn't really relevant, and then just healing and damage amping logic still is exactly the same as it used to be. So you generally want to be healing, but honestly you can afford to let people drop to about 100, 120 hit points before you actually really have to panic about healing. Giving people a little bit of damage amp while they get slowly depleted a little bit, and then picking them back up when they take some damage, honestly I find works a lot better. The best way to keep someone alive during a fight is to kill the other guy. You do that fastest by letting them like deal as much damage as possible for as long as possible, and then providing heals. Okay. MVS signed Seagull? Holy shit. I knew they were going to announce something. Like, I knew Seagull was going to have an announcement today, but... I'd be very surprised if Seagull's actually playing for them, though, or if he's just streaming under their brand. Which doesn't change much in the terms of news. It would be very strange for Seagull to actually play for them without being... He's going to be a substitute and going to stream under their brand, I imagine. Anyway... When would you not pick Mercy now? Any situation when you drop her for Ana or Zen? I'd still say, like, in a pure dive comp, if you're running Winston Diva, Tracer Genji, Lucio Zen, works perfectly fine. If you're running a triple tank comp, you can, in theory, run an Ana as well. The anti-healing is still very powerful. Still has always been very powerful. The thing with new Mercy is, like, the res is just so good. It's so good. I do think that people slightly overrate it. It just, the novelty factor of it alone feels amazing, but it is good. Like, it's really good. She does output a lot of healing as well. Like, just in terms of raw supporting power, she outputs a lot of heal per second on average in a game, and she puts out some decent damage amp stats. It's just, she sort of lacks on her own. I don't know. Like, that's gonna take a lot of time to shake out. Right now, I would say that Mercy's basically a must pick. Definitely feels like, especially on defense, the fact that you won't lose a fight, because the way Overwatch used to work, and this is sort of the really interesting debate that you can get into, is about death mechanics in Overwatch and how that sort of plays out. The way Overwatch used to work is if you get into a 5 versus 6, like if you just poke, someone dies, your team just heals up and then engages, you're going to win almost every time. Like, you have to fuck up to lose that fight. 6 versus 5 is a huge advantage in Overwatch. So the fact that Mercy sort of undoes that is enormous. The fact that it's on a 30-second cooldown, however, is something that I think a lot of people underestimate. The one thing I'm concerned about is how frequently this charges, so that the ultimate comes up very quickly, and therefore she's constantly getting these fights where, like every other team fight, she's rezzing people constantly. The thing with Valkyrie as well is maybe her movement speed needs tweaking, so she has to be slightly more careful with it. Maybe people just need to get used to it and aim better. Maybe the healing speed on it or the regeneration on it needs changing as well. Like, you need to have some way of punishing the Mercy just for drifting around in circles in the middle of the team fight, picking the same person up over and over and over and over again. Like, that feels kind of shitty at the moment. So we'll see. We will see what happens with New Mercy. Alright. We are going to leave this game. And I'm going to go to my face for a moment or two while I get this on full screen. Where is it? There it is. No, that isn't it. That's Twitter. There it is. This is what we want. Put this here. Let me make sure Epic Pen is open. Yes, it is. And then we'll go here. And let me exit out of Overwatch as well. Overwatch exit, so that isn't playing in the background. Is it too much to say she makes Anna redundant when it's Anna's niche? Anti-healing, sleep darts, all very good. She's still better output on tanks. Anna still brings quite a lot. Nano Boost is just extremely powerful in some instances. So yeah, there's still a lot of good behind Anna. Alright, so this game we're looking at, I believe it's actually, like, this is deceptive. If I remember this first. Let's see. And while I may be grouped out with my lowest diamond friends in this video, the SR was actually decayed from low masters. So my own gameplay is technically low masters level, with my hidden MMR hovering about 3.6k, while actually decayed SR is around 3.4k. So there you go. I said it is 3.1k is mostly where you should be considering about what the average of this game is. So we're going to take a look at it. We're going to break it down, see how it goes. I believe one of the players involved also uses a soundboard, so we'll see how obnoxious that is and judge them accordingly. That said, Numbani, first point defense, actually Mercy, really good pick. She can drift back and forth very easily across both balconies. She's very difficult to jump on. Very effective. Very, very effective. Very difficult to sort of dive and put pressure on. So, soundboard Ionades? No, thankfully this person hopefully is not Ionades. Don't know where Ionades is a notorious North American Hanzo main, I think, that plays using a soundboard. A little bit of coffee. Oh, needed that. Needed that. Okay, let's skip forward. Hopefully we get a look at our team lineup. Although we have a pretty good view of it here. We have at least 4 people, so just don't know what the other DPS is. This is New Diva as well. Also interesting how washed out everything looks. Welcome to the recording settings. And this is Junkrat. So Junkrat, McCree, Winston, Reinhardt, Diva, Mercy, Zenyatta. Lovely. So, first things first, like, what is going to be our healing role? What is our supporting role? Who are we mostly focused on supporting? Well, our healing role is definitely going to be picking up the tanks if the tanks start taking a lot of damage. We can do that infinitely better than Zenyatta. Zenyatta should be the one supporting people who are flanking and running around and being more mobile. That's definitely Zenyatta's job more than ours. Our job is more going to be to support the Junkrat, who's like going to be spamming in a choke, and then just keeping people alive as best as possible. That is a very interesting crosshair. That's I mean, it's Mercy, so honestly, do what you like with that crosshair. Very, very minor optimizations, but because we're playing Mercy, we can afford to do these. Like, we can actually nitpick like crazy. So, first things first, actually, ideally, because this Junkrat's in your voice comms, I'm actually going to give you this piece of advice. The idea is this. The Junkrat is probably set, like, if Junkrat sets a trap up in front of the door and you damage boost him, if someone steps in the trap, they get damage boost damage, I believe. That should be how it works. So it makes it much more potent to have the Junkrat combo. So if you can start the game by just having Junkrat amped, it's never a bad idea, really.
You don't know me, bro.
Don't do it the worst crosshair in the world? Yeah. Damage jump in the zone is fine. Yeah, we're okay topping that person up. Yep, we're okay topping this person up, actually. Fine with us also checking in main, just keeping an eye on stuff. Here's where we definitely should be damage jumping a little bit more. Just to make it a little bit harder for anyone to push in. That's muting it. Oh, a May. So this is where like damage jump will pay off, because odds are these guys are fighting someone here. No one's in any real danger right now, so you can afford to just damage jump a little bit. Just so that if they're trying to push in, they're going to take that little bit more damage. We're very lucky that the May went a stupid direction instead of just splitting your team off. Because if the Mei like walled your team half in that room and half out, you would lose this game instantly. Hanzo scoops up a single kill. And this is the sort of thing I was talking about, where these decisions suddenly become extremely hard. Part of this is the Reinhardt flubbing. So the Reinhardt shouldn't have peeled this much. Like, it is not Reinhardt's job to peel away from the main front to go and deal with something on the point. D.Va is so much better at doing that. Holy shit, D.Va can fly. I mean, what the fuck? Reinhardt can't fly. So like, these tanks completely crossed each other, where this should be the Reinhardt, because Reinhardt can stand here and block this, and D.Va can go and contest the point, and then bounce back up if needed. Like, these tanks both completely do the wrong thing. You notice that we seem to spend a moment lingering here, and it's like we're considering going for the McCree, and then we take a headshot and we die. And this is where I want to talk about like positioning, because I think people have this mistaken idea where because they're playing with the new Mercy, it's like, I can stand out of position, that's fine. What the fuck is Mercy going to do with this res? Like, there's no way Mercy can pick this guy up at all. He dies, he's all the way down the ramp. He's just... No, like, if Mercy goes in to try and pick this guy up, first of all, she's got nothing to dash back out to, other than the D.Va, which is right next to the people who are going to be killing her. Second, there's the Hanzo there just waiting for her. The Zarya's going to shoot through the Matrix. It's bad all around. This McCree cannot be here. You just let him go. And I think this is where you have to learn to make these decisions, and you have to understand that part of playing Mercy now is going to be dealing with people going, oh my god, what the fuck, Mercy? Why didn't you res me? You just got to say, dude, you are so out of position, you would have got me killed. Like, you would have killed me. So there we go.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Mission fail, we'll get him next time. There you go. Again, the McCree is literally splitting off from you. There's more than Zenyatta's job to babysit this guy. The way that this guy's playing, and this is sort of, to me, an important skill when you're playing support, is to try and read how people play and how people do things. This McCree has already sort of once been out of position and tried to go for something overly cheeky. Like, past this point, you do not follow him, which, you know, makes me happy that we didn't try, because this is suicide. If the enemy team is paying attention to this, he runs forward. Like, he's going to walk into a D.Va, a Mei. What the fuck is he hoping? A Zarya. What the fuck is he hoping is going to happen? What is his plan here? Mei walls us off and we focus on sort of pulling back. I think the Zenyatta is literally shouting at the McCree. This is a good res. Tanks, super high value to res. If you can pick up a tank, pick up a tank. Picking up tank, like, I'd say in terms of priority, picking up a Lucio, like picking up someone with an ultimate that can really change the game is probably highest priority, right? After that, picking up like a Lucio will be super high value. Picking up tanks, super high value. In terms of prioritizing tanks versus supports, difficult. I'd say main tanks are probably higher priority, so like Roadhog, Reinhardt, Winston, I would say are super high prio. Zarya is actually relatively low prio, because the Zarya that comes back from the dead doesn't have any charge, and so she's going to have to build up again, and that's not good for the Zarya. D.Va might have some value. It's like, the thing with D.Va is this is actually kind of a nice Valkyrie. Shame we weren't healing that guy though. We'll talk about this in a second. Let's finish this thought first. D.Va's a weird one, because D.Va has to get back in the mech, so if the firefight is super intense, resing D.Va I would say is low priority. If she has a moment to get back in the mech, very high value, because then she comes back with defense matrix, rockets, all that shit is available. But the key is understanding, can she actually get into her mech? If she's in a situation where she probably won't be able to do it, like if there's just fighting literally on top of her corpse, no. Low prio. I'd say DPS are relatively low prio, except maybe like Soldier 76, because he brings healing and stuff. A Reaper wouldn't be bad as well. Just something that can survive a little bit, and also just put out shitloads of damage in a clusterfuck fight. Avoid Hanzos, Widowmakers, like, stuff like that. Relatively low value. We should be damage amping. Good. Should be damage amping, because of course there's a Transcendence happening, so just makes easy sense. I'm actually curious. I have no idea if this will actually work. This is something I will have to ask a Blizzard dev at some point. Damage amping a D.Va, a baby D.Va, while her bomb goes off. Does it increase the bomb's damage? would be an interesting question. In theory, yes. The way that Overwatch is actually programmed, not a clue, because Overwatch basically treats D.Va and D.Va Mech as two separate heroes, so it might not. That's actually a really weird question that if I ever get a chance to talk to like Tim Ford or something again, I will definitely ask about that, because that's a really weird interaction. You probably won't know, but you will know someone who knows, which is super useful. Damage boosting a turbo increase the turret damage? I don't believe it does, because the turret is a separate entity, so it might work with the same logic, that the bomb is a separate entity. Is McCree being passive aggressive? I love this. I love it when this happens.
No, let's go contest. Everybody contest. We're all here. Old team is here. Don't be
Old team is here. Don't be a pussy, he says when standing around the corner. He wasn't being as bad as I was expecting him to be. You guys got you guys got a lot of good ultimates off the back of this. Like, in terms of actual mercy play, is there anything we could actually improve on here? Generally, say positioning is okay. We're using the walls. We're using line of sight as best as possible. We pick up a high value target. I'd say moving away from the Reinhardt is a little bit risky, but we do manage to just sort of hop up and over and then dash through. Quite nice. So we do manage to evade. Pick this up. Try and get to the Reinhardt, but he gets cornered off by the wall. That's unfortunate. And then we get focused down and killed. I don't think we could really do too much. Can you test D.Va ramp bomb on a selfie in a Roadhog? You probably could, but I would need two people to do it, and I'm not going to set that up right now. And yeah, Reinhardt barrier would work as well. You need 3 people to do it. So this is where, like, stability is super important. The key here is just to try and stop the bleeding. This is like good general advice. When an enemy team is snowballing like this, and especially because your deaths are so split, like you can see as you're leaving spawn, this is the nice thing about these new icons, is that you can see like 2 people are dead, right? 2 people are dead and down, and then you got 1 person who's just about to die over here. So you're gonna have like 3 people coming out of the door to contest, and then 3 people coming out a couple of seconds later. That's really bad for us, because it means if the enemy team puts on aggression, they can easily just scoop us up, and then they could just keep cycling those kills, right? So even going for this res is risky as hell, and you can see it gets the Reinhardt out of position who tries to protect us, gets frozen, gets killed. So we traded resing a D.Va for a Reinhardt who's already alive, which isn't really value. Luckily we're being donated a shitload of ultimate charge here. McCree's got himself killed again. Lol. Oh man. The McCree is complaining.
My shield is low all the time. And then the May just kills me.
So what's interesting is like oh wow. Oh wow. This has nothing to do with you being platinum. Oh god, but I can't. And I don't use that word lightly. What a little shit of a McCree. Okay. And the sad part is everyone's wrong. Everyone's wrong blaming each other in terms of like individual play. Individual play is fucking irrelevant here. Yeah, a diamond pulling ranks, lol. Fucking hell.
To Overwatch,
Hey, Dominikos 05.
Lucky
Nice.
number 7. Thanks for all the content, coach.
Like I said, like, this is literally just people trying to make plays when they have a disadvantage, and that's literally all this is. People are trying to do things when they have a disadvantage rather than just being safe. This happens in so many games. So many games non-stop people will try and do this. This happens for a multitude of reasons. It's either you realize that you're losing and you go, oh my god, I've got to do something about this loss. I have to try stuff, and therefore you try and sort of overplay. So going for this, like this one res, means that Reinhardt is panicking about you. Reinhardt's scared. He's nervous. He's going, Mercy, what are you doing? Oh god, ach, mein Lieber. And then you dash forward and it's like, ah, ach, nein. He's going steadily more comical. Ach, nein. Oh, auf mein Handy verloren. Sorry, it's fucking Stephen Fry did a piece about Germans becoming increasingly campus. Oh, ich hab mein Handy verloren. Oh, nein. Because the handy is apparently like mobile phone in German. They call it a handy. Ach, mein Handy. Sounds so camp. Anyway, we run forward, and Reinhardt goes, "Oh no!" and then tries to run forward as well. And you're running towards a fight that, even at the best of times, could be a 4 versus 6 at this moment. Like, oh my god, you got a 4 versus 6. The enemy team's going, "Oh fucking hell, yes." And the big thing you got to realize is that in the previous fight, to take this point, the enemy team used Valkyrie. They used a whole bunch of shite. I think they used self-destruct. They might have even used grav. Like, they used a load of stuff just to get that point. So they don't have much anymore. And so the worst thing that can happen right now is that people die. Naturally, 2 people die. Reinhardt overextends, gets walled off, killed. Picked off, killed. McCree then tries to overextend, gets picked off, killed. D.Va struggling for mech. Zenyatta now doesn't have enough protection, so the next 3 have just respawned. D.Va, Reaper, well, D.Va respawned to us. Reaper and Zenyatta have come back into the fight. Reaper's now trying to force a play and trying to force something. Zenyatta's underprotected, so he dies, and it's just... It's these mistakes compounding onto each other in, like, the worst possible way, and people not realizing... Yeah, voice mein Handy. Sorry. Mein Lieber. Lieber. I'm English. I will say mein Lieber no matter what. So basically, the way it works is it's these errors just compounding onto each other and nobody making the right decision and going, just stop. Just, like, at this point, no, like, this point it's too late. This point is way too late. At some point, the team just needed to make a call and just go, we cannot just stand forward. We have to just wait and try it and set up so we can test at the last possible moment. By just putting ourselves out of position, we just continuously, like, it led to one other person being out of position. Overextending McCree, correct. But overextending us as well. Overextending Reinhardt, like... It's like one mistake compounds into another, and compounds into another, and compounds into another, and compounds into another. And it's taking that moment to realize that we are losing. We just gotta stop making plays. We gotta stop trying to do anything. We just gotta focus on regrouping, surviving, and doing something about that.
Maybe it would work.
How worried do you think our Master Zen main needs to be right now? Not too worried.
Are you sure about that?
If you're good enough to play Zen in Master, you can probably learn and pick up Mercy if you need to, necessarily, and Zen still works in several locations. Defensive Zen Mercy is pretty good. Okay, let's see. So it looks like this team lineup seems relatively stable, so we're going to take a look at it. So again, like I said, start of every round, try and figure out your role in the team. What is your job in this team? What is your team? And so, like, how are we going to play? How are we going to position ourselves? Well, obviously, you know, Pharmacy forever. So the OG ship is sailing into port. Pharmacy gonna be pretty much our highest priority. The one thing I will warn about is that Zenyatta healing D.Va and Zenyatta healing Reinhardt is not super strong. So we might have to abandon the pharmacy just to look after D.Va and look after Reinhardt. Like, Zen can honestly do a good job looking after a fire as well, and can look after the McCree, who likes to throw his life away quite a lot. D.Va just wrecks me as Zen. She won't anymore, Lameo. Don't be so fucking sure. D.Va diving with Winston and any, like, if you're gonna dive right now with Winston, D.Va, and Genji, you can't do anything about it. She can defense matrix you and deal about 100 damage with rockets all at the same time. You can't do shit. You don't get to do anything. Especially if you're playing Ana, holy shit, being dove by new D.Va. She just holds defense matrix, unloads rockets on you while something else lands and just helps finish you off. You can't do anything about it.
Top, or do you guys want to run through top?
Oh baby, oh god, I like where this is going already. So first things first, just good practice, good habits. I'm aware that we like drifted out super fast. Do not be the first person through here. The amount of times people die by being the first person out of spawn, that there is no reason for you to be in front. If you end up like zipping forward too far, Zenyatta deals a shitload of damage. Scatter arrow comes in, kills the McCree. Luckily we pick him up. Like, there is no reason to be in front of your tanks. Do not do it. There is no good reason.
Bottom. Yeah, where some just drop.
This is an interesting decision. This is a very stupid decision by the pharmacy. Or by the Farah at the very least. Like, the Farah should not be down here. Farah has no advantages down here. Farah does not want to be down here. The nice thing that Farah can do is she can go, like, you and Farah should have split a little bit back. And so these guys can all go underneath. This is where, like, a Lucio would work a lot better, by the way, because the Lucio can just speed boost these guys in, while you and Farah go round through mid.
Go bottom. Yeah.
And then you can just, like, dunk on people from above. And so you can start, like, these guys can go and put pressure on the point, and then can even what this guy's trying to do at the moment, which is a little bit silly, can try and wrap around, and then go and put pressure upstairs while Pharmacy goes in from the other side, and you just pincer them. This is the scary part. McCree just ran away from his tanks and ends up dying. This McCree is a little bit of a dumbass. He doesn't learn, which is the sad part. We want to evade. Yep. Zenlo, please. Zenlo, please. Please, Zenlo. Please, Zenlo. So the issue is you're like, you can't play a pharmacy comp and just have the pharmacy stand on literally on top of the team, and you can't have your McCree die instantly in a team fight as well, because that's problematic. The fact that they have a Mei and a Hanzo should tell you a couple of things instantaneously. One, you cannot push top. So, actually, we could do it from here. You cannot push through up here, because if you try and Mei's there, she's just going to cut you off. Hanzo's going to spam into you, you're going to die. Your best bet would actually be to pull this fight out into the open, where Mei and Hanzo are just a lot less strong. Pharmacy could easily do that by just swinging in and taking control of the skies. Like, they have nothing really good to deal with that, judging by the team comp we've seen. The only thing that could really deal damage to you is the Zenyatta, and maybe the Zarya if you get too low to the ground. But there's nothing else that could really stop them. Honestly, if I was your team, I would just say, let's push mid and just get on the point and fight. Because you guys would probably win that.
Piece of cake, piece of cake. Let me get you patched up.
You definitely can't go under. So for the love of God.
My way back.
So the McCree running off on his own, going underneath, is committing suicide.
Going main.
Heroes never die.
So there goes a 30-second cooldown that we had to use because this guy's a dumbass. Which is a shame, but we're correct in using it. Let's go support the Farah. This McCree's mate, like, this McCree's do not, and this is what I urge to everyone watching in, like, bronze, silver, gold level. I think those sorts of levels are most prone to this kind of error. When playing support, some people get into the mentality that, oh my god, if I don't support this guy over here, this clown, let's give him some balloons. Go, balloon. It's a red balloon. They all float. He's gonna float soon. So like this clown over here is going to get himself killed in like the stupidest way possible, right? Because he's completely on his own. He's died once already to a diva that's watching him. He's walking through a narrow corridor to Deathsville. Give it a crusty. There we go. Looks like a sperm cell. You could well, I'm a biologist, clearly. Sperm cell actually have a little bit of a longer cell body, like that. That's more like a sperm cell. Anyway. So this guy, like, he's already died here once. He thinks that the large health pack's going to be enough to save him. It's really not. If the enemy team just sends 2 people to clean him, and what this guy might think, mistakenly, is, oh, well, 2 people came to kill me, therefore my team should win instantly. But the reality is this: 2 people could probably go down here, kill him in a second, and then go back and rejoin the fight. And like, it costs them nothing to kill him. Do not be fooled into the mentality of, I must support this guy, otherwise he's going to be mad at me. Let him be mad at you. This is a you should know better and see, because you have a better holistic view of the game. This is a mistake, because there is nothing this guy could do necessarily better than he could do just standing here. Like, he'll be able to shoot for longer here. He'll be able to flashbang easier here. He's less likely to get sniped coming around the corner. He's less likely to die in a number of situations. He's already died once going this way. He's died several times overextending on flanks. Do not go and support this guy. It is suicide for you, and it's a good way to lose a game.
Hanzo's on the right. He goes low.
And like, it will take you so long just to get round to it that it's not worth. You'll be okay letting the diva die here. This is one thing that I've trying to sort of teach myself as well when I'm playing Mercy, is to keep an eye on the kill feed, especially after like ultimates like that. You want to make sure that you are safe, and then afterwards just watch the kill feed. Okay, diva's out of mech. Honestly, it is better at this point to let the diva die. This is gonna sound like weird advice. While Res is on cooldown, sure, heal her, and just hope that she manages to get it. But if she does die and Res comes off cooldown, picking her up just instantaneously is not too bad. We have a decision point here. Diva is dead, Reinhardt is dead, pick up the Reinhardt. Reinhardt is 2,500 hit points, it will instantly be on the point. Diva has to get back into a mech and is less value. I will go for the Reinhardt here. The Diva is nearer, and so it's like the third decision. Okay, we have Valkyrie. That's actually better. That didn't even occur to me. I wasn't paying enough attention to the ult charge. That's actually very good. I am impressed. Then pistol to build up, and then pick up. Very nicely done.
They're coming from the top.
This is me learning.
Coming from the top.
Well, we're also learning. I would say that damage amp, like this is where taking this aerial view, and this is the hard part of playing Mercy in Valkyrie mode. So absolutely heal this person back to full. And then we've got to sort of take a very quick stock of situation, because sure, a health bar appears in the middle of the screen. Excuse me. A health bar appears in the middle of the screen. But it's kind of like this isn't the information we need, because if this guy's taking damage and like someone else is, and let's say this person is low, then we need to be healing. So you've got to just learn to ignore this in the middle and then just focus purely on peeling back and just seeing, okay, how is everyone's hit points? Is someone low? Okay, I probably need to heal. Otherwise, you want to try and damage amp just to get that little bit of extra firepower in. So you're looking for like moments where you can just provide that little bit of amp. And in like this split second, I would say like amp, and then you see, oh, there's a red cross here. Okay, provide some healing, even though they're still quite well. Make sure you just keep moving. Best advice in general, just make sure you're constantly moving. Pick them up.
Can you drop
Hanzo and
balls?
pick the diva, please.
Can you drop balls?
You're gonna pick up the Reinhardt. Good. Good, good, good. This is really nice for us because the Zenyatta can just save us and they can't really do anything about it. Be nice where some kills come in. Just damage out the hell out of that Pharah. Good job.
Help me!
Fuck this McCree, to be honest.
Welcome to Overwatch, Monsilly.
Hey! That was very weird timing. Thank you, Dana 265.
Just need 1 or 2 on point.
Oh look. Guess what, guys? McCree's overextended and he's died.
I'm gonna go get us some space.
Oh, good. Okay, she survived that. Just keep healing on her. I think the Zen said, like, put the Mercy on point, but honestly, Zen should just stay on it for now. So in this moment, as agonizing as it seems, like, I struggle with this because it feels like this is like doing this in the stupidest, dumbest way possible, right? Where you've already kind of won, like you got a res off, so if you just turtle up again and just try and get 1 or 2 more kills, you could just keep this rolling pretty easily. But like this diva is just extended 3 miles away and is just losing a mech again. Pharah's barraging. Gets 1, just diva's ulted, like, ugh. Ugh, this is not good. Lovely.
That was a waste of ult on their part.
That was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. You guys have committed ultimates. They both got 1 kill when you could have just regrouped and you would have been able to push regardless. I think, kind of ugh. I'd say in the decision we were wrestling with before, just supporting, like if the team is pushing out, you've got to commit to that a little bit. A support has to go with them usually. If everyone is out pushing, you need to join them, unfortunately. But this is also where you start spamming group up in team chat. Nice. Nice. Okay, 3 people should get on this. It works out. Run out, gets a fatty shaddy, gets both supports. Their team is just as bad as ours, which is the one saving grace. This is why you never give up, even if someone on your team is terrible, or someone in your team picks a hero you don't like. You never give up. It helps that the enemy team has picked Hanzo and Mei, and that makes it much easier. Okay. D.Va dies to a bomb. I wish I. So she breaks the enemy D.Va mech and then fires off her own D.Va bomb. I don't understand. I don't understand what the enemy D.Va is thinking with this. They're not actually gaining ground at the moment. They get the D.Va, but res, lol. They're lucky to even get that. We need to be thinking hard about Valkyrie. That's a superb movie, by the way. This is scary. Keep her cool. Everyone's spread apart and dying. This is the most frustrating point as Mercy. This is where I find new Mercy is kind of at her weakest. We're fine picking up the Zen here, but we're on cooldown. I do not agree with that decision in the slightest. Aware that that's sort of how the decision just wound up, but just keep healing. Yep.
Amazing, thank you.
Okay. Lol. Okay, let's go back to this decision. Nope. Back. Okay, so damage. Everything's looking a bit dicey. Like, you could have Valkyried at this moment, for example, just to put out a ton of healing. The fact that someone is in their fucking spawn door is a problem, because you guys are nowhere near in position to actually fight like that at the moment. And then I would say that if you're going to Valkyrie, you either Valkyrie now, pick Zen up, and then you won't actually be able to get the McCree, because he will have respawned in the 10 seconds. The Zen is definitely higher value than McCree. So it's very strange to me that we kind of just completely overlook him. And instead favor a McCree who is horrifically out of position. And by the time we turn around, the Zen's already respawned. Like, there's still time when we activate this to pick this Zen up. Like, he's still here. He's not going to be back for another 10 seconds anyway. And this McCree has been nothing but a liability. Zenyatta is, like, this is where I think playing Mercy, you have to understand the relative value of every single hero in your team super, super well. And let me break down Zenyatta versus McCree just very quickly. Zenyatta is one of the highest value heroes you can have in a team fight because he provides consistent healing. He provides basically a single button. He can delete 33% or 30% of an enemy's hit point bar. It's effectively what Discord Orb does. Basically what Discord Orb does. He can deal shitloads of damage. Absolutely shreds tanks. And provides that massive value, like consistently. His ultimate is great, so if he has that as well, oh my god, Zenyatta is good. McCree, on the other hand, very consistently can kill one person with flashbang right click. Does good damage at medium to close range. This Zenyatta, this McCree is also a little bit out of position. That can sort of work from a surprise angle because he can res and then walk up behind someone, flash him, and fan him. But in general, like, a great McCree can get tons and tons of kills. This has not been a great McCree. Like, part of our job as a support is to judge our teammates, and you know we are judging you, and we are going. And like, if I weigh up the value of, okay, we can either have a Zenyatta or we can have this McCree. We have the Zenyatta. And you might be able to make an argument for, like, oh, well, the Zenyatta's going to res sooner. But the bulk of the time is going to be, like, this is about 3 seconds difference. Honestly, it's not huge. The Zenyatta is just worth a lot more. So I would say you Valkyrie, like, as quickly as possible in that instance, and then you just pick up the Zen. McCree fires off an ult, doesn't get anything because it's a McCree ult. You are correct in just healing here. That is a lot stronger.
Amazing, thank you.
Because you want to make sure the Pharah survives this. He dies. Boom. Heroes never die. No, that was a nice shadow. That's a grab. We have Trank. Lol. Oh, and they use Deadeye, and they use Dragon, and they use Grav. Yeah, fair enough. Like once the Deadeye goes into that, you're done.
Back in the fight.
They just use everything. Correct. Correct, Zandiffer. Please don't get me copyright struck. Or fucking contested or whatever it is. Okay, let's see. We are playing reasonably calm, just checking line of sight. Good. Support the enemy, support your allied support. Like, the second you turn here, like, this should have been like, oh my god, Zen. Like, if you see a fellow support and you see that red thing on them, heal them. Even though Zen will heal himself, you want to get the Zen back in a position where he can be fighting as much as possible. What is he doing? What? Why is he there? Like, why are you playing? Why isn't he playing Tracer? So this annoys the shit out of me because this is a topic I say over and over again, which is play the hero. Play the fucking hero. Don't. If you want to play and flank non-stop 24/7, you want to live in their backline, then you fucking pick Tracer. You don't pick McCree and just try.
Has 2 kills, group up on the payload.
And then he talks in a passive-aggressive tone in chat because he's the big dick diamond fucking McCree, remember?
Here goes, we're going.
New arm is good. You would be like, it sounds weird to say, but you would be okay just Valking here. I understand that I used to hold on to it though. Actually, a tricky sort of topic. Ah! Okay, this fight is done. It's weird, but I do see Valkyrie as one of those ultimates that if the enemy team Valks, you would be okay Valking.
Here goes, we're going in.
It's a weird thing. This to me is like where Mercy gets really complicated. This to me is where Mercy gets really difficult, and this is where I'm sort of interested to see how the thinking and approach works out, because this is a Reinhardt, this is a very high value res. You pick this guy up, he instantly comes back with a full shield, I think. He should instantly come back with a full shield, and he comes out with 500 hit points. 200 armor, 300 health. Like, that's a huge value swing. So if you think about your value in the team fight right now, like, your team just went, you know, in terms of, like, total hit points, so this is, like, total HP. You know, your team's been doing this, and then you res a Reinhardt, it's like, boom! Oh, baby, and then you, this. Like, bringing the Reinhardt back is just this jump of 500. Plus 2,000 barrier. Which can put you, like, even up here. Because of the 2,000 barrier coming back. It's just insane value. So I'm fine with us going, like, you can afford to take a relatively risky res for a Reinhardt. The clue to this bomb, by the way, was the fact that it drove past us. So you can sort of, we see where the bomb started, and then the fact that it flies like right past our head, we know that that tells you that it's going to end up like here. The only way you're going to be safe is if you get like all the way around in front of the payload. I love metrics in esports, current hate points of the team. Yeah. I would also like a measure of DPS of the team. And like being able to track DPS. 5. Yeah, Valkyrie for next push.
We have another push, we have smokes.
This is one of those weird instances. Okay, for fuck's sake, you can pick that far up at least. But this is annoying because if you wait for that res, like it's basically a team fight anyway. Like 30 seconds will be enough time for all your team to die, and then or this far to come back and walk out. So you can't wait now for your resurrect. You've just got to start pushing. So this is where I think the Mercy buff is kind of deceptive, because 30 seconds is still a very long time to go without this cooldown. It might even be buffed, might even be nerfed even to be more.
Yep, I'm ready.
We should definitely be focusing on amping the Sparrow.
Oh, no, 3 people up top. I just got team ulted behind you, McCree.
Reset.
This is where communications is very helpful. So instead of telling us, okay, so first things first, like seeing that this happened, it's like, oh shit,
3 people up top. I just got
you're perfectly fine and correct in playing around this corner at the moment. And then it's like realizing, oh shit, that is a McCree. That is scary.
team ulted behind
And we see it, and down we go. For some reason, D.Va's up there, but for some reason, McCree's up there. Like, this is where this McCree is annoying the shit out of me, because where is the value? Where's the huge value in McCree not just following the team here? Like, if you think about the layout of this map, this point works. If we just take it from like this point onwards, right? And then draw the schematic, it comes out like this. It's a bend, and then the map ends. Right? This is like the payload path. Okay. And then you got like the high ground area up above that comes out here with this little thing over the top. And, you know, there's like a wall here. You come out into this area here, and then you got like this pathway here, which looks like this. And then you got like all this sort of space around here, and you got the thing over here as well, whatever, and this connects up. So the idea is like, if your team is pushing up here, then the Rhino's going to end up like here. McCree's going to join them here. Enemy team is probably positioned like here around this corner. You know, they're probably positioned. Let me get a different color. Let's go with this one. So enemy team is probably positioned like here, right? So the enemy team is going to be like, the enemy team's territory is like all this space. Appearing here is not anything different. It's not causing a different angle. It's not doing anything new. It's not doing anything different. It's not giving us anything more. It's just the McCree trying to think, like, who's thought, I've done this in the past and I've run up here and shot people from high ground before and it's really worked. Therefore it's great. Therefore I should do this. Therefore this is a good decision. The issue with that line of thought is this. If there is any kind of contesting up here, if there's any kind of threat up here, he is in trouble. And suddenly he's putting the entire game on the back of him winning a duel or him maybe being outnumbered. And so when he says, in a second or two, if we go forward.
oh, no, 3 people up top. I just
3 people up top. He didn't need to be there. There is no huge benefit to having him on that high ground. You have a Pharah that can contest this high space. You have a D.Va that can contest this high space. There is no huge advantage to the McCree being away from the Reinhardt, away from the Mercy, away from the Zenyatta. There is no way that without ulting and like flying straight up there that you could even get to this guy. And if you do that and there's 3 people up there, you're going to fucking die. There is 30 seconds left. There is like 1 death loses you this game. GG.
so fucked.
That was 1 move. That was 1 move from a McCree that repeatedly flanks and fucks up. Do not be this McCree. Do not follow this McCree. Do not support this McCree. Support is generally about enabling people trying to make plays. Do not enable people making bad decisions, however. That's sort of my general advice. Like, be very, very careful in supporting people making actually terrible choices. The reason why I'm going so hard on this McCree is because of this statement that he made a while ago, and players like this annoy the shit out of me. So if I go all the way back here, it should be around here somewhere. If you just listen. No, it's a bit earlier than this.
Low.
There we go.
Is it just me or is our Reinhardt dying incredibly fast all the time?
Yeah, because my shield is low all the time. And then the Mei just kills me.
Well, you get going in over
It
there.
has nothing to do with you being platinum.
It has nothing to do with you being platinum or anything. Let me quote the prequels, one of my favourite things to do. There is always a bigger fish. I'm a bigger fish. Hi, my rating is usually around 3.9k. You seem to be a low master scrub and shitter. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about, and you're a big reason why this game was lost, my friend. Oh my god, you are bad. You are fucking terrible. You have all the tactical awareness of a sponge, and you cannot analyze a game to save your life, McCree, my friend. Stop shitting on people under you. Do not just blame the rank. That Reinhardt was fucked from the word go, because that Reinhardt had zero fucking support in forms of the DPS behind him, and therefore got shit on non-fucking stop. Half the time trying to support your shitty flanks. Fucking hell. I hate players like that so much. Just, oh, I'm better. Like, to me, the only people who get to do that kind of shit, and who get to go, well, I play this game for a fucking living, therefore I probably understand this better than you. The fucking pros. Like, sure, if you're a pro, whatever, like, I'm going to take your word over a lot of stuff. I'll probably still have my own judgment, but whatever, I'm not going to try and argue at that point. There's a good chance that a pro would know better than I do. So if I'm playing a game and I'm somehow playing with Chris, and Chris goes, yeah, you don't want to do that, or like, yeah, you're playing this really badly and wrong, I'm probably going to go, oh, they might be onto something. If you're a fucking diamond player, are you fucking kidding me? Fuck off. Piss off. Like, just no. I don't know if we even went over the elos of the people in the team, but there's a good chance that guy might even be in platinum anyway. That guy is the kind of person who will get extremely salty as well if he loses a game and goes under 3k rating, because in his head he's like, well, I'm diamond, therefore I know the game, I understand the game, I'm great, or I'm masters. He might even just be diamond. Yes, he's just diamond. He might be around 3.5k, and I think this guy, like, this guy is the reason why 3.5k is goddamn terrible as an elo, because you get people with such egos tied to their rank that it's just abysmal. Right. It's like going to the gym and the new guy tells you lifting. Well, it's not even like the new guy. It's the guy who's been going to the gym for a while but never really researched into sort of stuff. And he's moderately fit. He's not, you know, he's getting there, and he's doing kind of the right things at times, and he's kind of doing okay. But then he sort of goes to someone who's pretty much the same. Like, honestly, to me, the difference between plat and diamond is not enormous. And he's going, yeah, you're doing it all fucking wrong. Maybe it's because you've only been here 6 months and I've been here 7, but you're doing this all fucking wrong. You're just terrible. You're just bad. Just leave. Like, because what annoys me about this guy is that if I then go to this guy as a master player or as a GM, like, and go, yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, he'll probably get really defensive about it and go, well, the rank isn't everything. There's a plat, and then the Zen wasn't healing me, and the Mercy wasn't resing me, and it's like, no, you're just fucking terrible. So that's me doing a rant at the end. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's useful for coaching, but I imagine it feels cathartic, I imagine, for these guys. And it feels cathartic for me. Stylos has said, no, Stylos has said rank doesn't matter. Stylos is right. Rank is an indication of many things, and it is not comprehensive. There are GMs with the awareness of a spade, but can play Tracer like gods. And therefore they're GM. Right. I'm going to guess his aim is very good, given he's in Diamond, but his game set's abysmal. Actually, I'd say that Diamond is about right for him, because he's making plays that will work when the enemy team doesn't punish you properly. But he will never get into High Masters, ever, with how he plays. He'll keep trying these cute flanks, and he'll just keep dying every single time. They will just fucking kill him over and over and over. Anyway, thank you for what you're doing in the coaching session. Now is a good time to start asking questions. Let's focus on the Mercy. Try and focus on the Mercy, but, you know, I'll take general questions, but, you know, Mercy-oriented questions, not a bad idea. And then we'll round up the coaching session, then we'll go play some Overwatch. Should be fun. So, let me swap. And let me go here. Let me load up Overwatch.